Hello everybody and thank you for joining me. This is Sierra from Sierra T Designs and today I have this fun floral card to share with you. So let's jump right in. So this is a mini slimline card, so I'm going to start by cutting down my cardstock, which is kind of my preference for the start of every card. And I'm going to have my base be 6 by 6. I like my slimline cards to be 6 by 3. It's kind of just a super fun size to me, so that's kind of what I aim for. So I have my base there. It's a cream cardstock. I've cut it to 6 by 6. And then I like to put a black mat behind pretty well everything. So this is going to be cut a 1/4 of an inch smaller than my cream base. And then my panel that's going to be some doll pink cardstock is going to be cut to, oh sorry, it's cotton candy, not doll pink, it's cotton candy cardstock. And it's going to be cut to a 1/4 of an inch smaller than my black mat. So that's kind of the measurements I've been using for mini slimline cards. I don't really think that there's any wrong way to do this. I make my own envelopes, so I can make it to fit whatever I like, and I pretty much currently aim at the 3 by 6 inches. But I don't think there's a wrong way to go about it. And mini slimlines are a lot of fun because they're so unintimidating, if that makes sense. Like, I find slimline cards can be intimidating because they are so big, but this gives you so much freedom to just create something kind of smaller that's super cute and a lot of fun. So I kind of encourage you to try the size if you haven't already. So I did just score my cardstock at the 3-inch mark, so you saw that it was a 3-inch by 6-inch card base. And then here I'm going to do some embossing. So I have a stamp set that came out a while ago. This is the Window Frames by Simon Says Stamp. And it has a matching die that cuts out a shaker window. I have never made a shaker card, and I thought that would be pretty intimidating. So I thought I would start with kind of an easy shaker card because this has an insert that just goes into the cutout piece in the center. And because of the size of this stamp set and die, I thought a mini slimline card would be pretty much perfect for how this the sizing works for this. So I did stamp it out in some embossing ink, and I am going to emboss it with cream embossing powder. I really wanted to do white, and sorry, it's not white, it's cream. Cream, a light pink, and a kind of a shimmery black cardstock. It's kind of the colors I chose for this, so I kind of stay within that theme in all the things that I use. So I'm using like a cream embossing powder and the shimmery black cardstock coat to go behind, and just kind of that's where I was going with it. I've never used cream embossing powder before, so this was a really interesting look. It's not stark white, so it almost kind of gives you a more vintage look or a more subtle look, and I really liked how this turned out. So it's pretty neat. I'm gonna have to try it again on some other cards later, but this is what I was using this for. And this card is actually a part of a hop. I will have the next person in the hop linked and listed down below. It is the May Flowers hop, and there's going to be some amazing creators in here, so you really should hop along and check out what everybody's made. Tailor Made Cards for You is hosting this, and I know that there's a design kit in there that the design team is working with, and you should really check it out and leave them some love. So here you can see I'm just going to heat set my embossing powder, and sorry about the light. It gets a bit bright there on that pink cardstock, so it's a little hard to see, but I think it turned out really pretty, this in cream embossing powder. And then here's that matching die that kind of just goes in the center there. And if you're ever curious about anything that I'm using to make these cards, I do have everything linked down below if you're ever interested, everything that I've used specifically, but by all means use what you have. I mean, this could definitely be replicated with many different things, and you wouldn't have to use the certain items that I've used. I mean, I've seen people make amazing shaker cards without these kind of insert things. So by all means, use what you have, and just try out this mini slimline size. It's a lot of fun. So I did line that up and stick that down with some low tack tape, and then I'm just going to run it through my Gemini to get a good cut. And then you're going to see here how the kind of the 3 windows pop out, and then this is how that shaker insert goes in. So I thought that this is just super neat. So they just kind of pop out there. And then I'm going to pull out the shaker window. I'm going to have to purchase more of these because this was a lot of fun to create. And then it pops right in the inside there. And I did think about maybe putting the pink pieces back in, but in the end I decided I really wanted to have that black cardstock kind of shine through the insert there. So I did bring in, this is some 1/8 of an inch score tape, and I'm putting it all the way around the window so that I can adhere it to my card panel. I am going to bring in a piece of acetate as well to cover the shaker so that you see through it, but the pieces can't fall out. That was one of the concerns I had with making the shaker card, is that I didn't want to go to all this work and then just have my shaker pieces kind of fall. So this was probably an extra step that you don't really need, the part where I add acetate on top of this, but I just thought it was kind of a fun idea, so I did it. I don't think you need to. I've seen lots of people just stick their cardstock on top and it looks stunning, but I was a bit leery, so I did end up adding a extra piece of acetate in there. And I'm just going to adhere this down, and then you're going to see me pull it all the release tape off, and then it just snugly sits right in that die. I mean, they've been designed to work together, so it should work well, but I just thought it was really neat that it just kind of slid in there. And you could make this super cute shaker card in like no time at all. This whole design didn't take me too long to make, and I think it turned out like really pretty. So I would love to see if you guys make shaker cards, if you have any comments for me, because this is my first one ever, and it was a bit intimidating, but I think that this turned out really well, and it just came together really easily with these specific pieces. And here you can see it just pops right in there, and then I just adhered it with my bone folder there just to kind of make sure that the tape adhered, because I didn't want it to separate at all. And then I'm going to bring in, they're called vanilla luster sequins. So they're kind of, again, like a bit of a cream-based sequin. So I thought that they would be super pretty, and I just scooped some in each well. Excuse me. I'm just going to use the same one in all 3 of the wells. You could absolutely change this out and put anything you want in there, but this is kind of what I chose to use. And I just scooped some in each well. There was no real, I'm not really sure. I didn't want to fill them too full, but I wanted enough in there that it kind of shook around so that you had that kind of fun shaker aspect. And then I'm going to adhere that piece of acetate on the back. You're going to see me here in a minute, as soon as I can get these sequins off my fingers. And you'll see that it looks white. It's not. It's clear. It just has a release paper on it, and I left that on until the glue was completely dry so that I wasn't going to try to pull it off and then have my whole back remove. So I just trimmed it down to be the same size as the die, and then I just adhered it on top with the release paper on the top. So yeah, it's going to look like it's like white or a cream color or something like that. It's not. It's completely clear acetate. It just has a release paper on it that I'll remove here in a second, so you can kind of check out how this kind of all came together. And I am double checking how my glue went, because I didn't want it leaking everywhere, and I kind of be a bit heavy-handed with glue too, so I was just trying to be a bit clean in how I removed it. But there you can see I removed the backing sheet, and there you can see the sequins in there. Isn't that neat? So you can see through there, and they shake around great, and I just think it's so neat. I know if you make shaker cards often, this is probably like, wow, Sierra, like, it's pretty simple there, but it turned out really cool, and I really had a lot of fun making it. So I'm gonna have to absolutely order some more of these little pouches, because they just made making a shaker card like amazingly easy. And it took something that was a bit intimidating and made it really accessible to someone who was a little worried about it. But I am going to adhere that down onto that black cardstock that I trimmed out earlier, and then I am going to adhere that to my cream base, and then we're going to work on a sentiment. So I am in the middle of making a custom order for anniversary cards. This is actually the last one I'm posting to my channel. I have all 10 posted on my channel if you want to check them out. I had a lot of fun making this order. This was one of the last ones, but you could absolutely put any sentiment on this. I chose to make it a happy anniversary card because that's what I needed, but this could be a birthday card or a sympathy card or anything you needed, a thank you card, anything like that. This is just what I happened to do. And I did also stamp it out on a piece of that same doll paint cardstock and just trimmed it down to a really thin label. I didn't want anything too big to take away from this kind of mini slimline card, right? Like this, it's quite delicate, I feel like, so I didn't want anything big and chunky that might take away from the design. So I just adhered this thin strip with some foam strips in the center or on top of that bottom well there, and then that's kind of all I did for this. I did bring in a little bit of shimmer pen and just to add some shine to the flowers, just because I can never resist shine. And I thought that just a little bit of extra subtle shine on the little rosebuds that are sticking out around this frame would be quite pretty. But this is extra. By no means would you need to do this. This is just kind of how I roll with all the things being shiny. But it's, yeah, it turned out really pretty. So I'm going to hold it up here in a second so that you can check it out and tell me what you think. Please hop through all the people in the hop. There's going to be a lot of amazing creators in here that are going to bring like wonderful content that you shouldn't miss out on. So I'm holding it up there so you can check it out. You can also see that I made a little envelope for it. I just did this with my 1, 2, 3 punch. If you want a video on how I made that, let me know. I can absolutely do a standalone video on how I made this little envelope specific for those mini Slimline cards. But yeah, so that is the video I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave me a like, leave me a comment, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. I put up new content every Monday, and I get to join in these wonderful hops whenever I am available. So please make sure you hop through everybody and leave them a like and leave them a comment. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.